Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me? Let's try this. Good evening, everyone. All right, very good. We've got some comedians on here. Very funny, Sweeney. Yes, and I thought I'd add a little. Say hi to everyone.
Hi, everyone.
Thought I'd add a little subtitle down here to kind of show what everyone was looking at. So yeah, we're starting out with the moon just so I could get focused on something, and I'm about to move this thing over to look at Jupiter and Saturn real quick. So yeah, having a little internet trouble, of course, about an hour before we started this. So we're using my backup plan, which I'm not going into detail on that. I'm not stealing internet, but it's definitely, I guess some would say it's a sketchy method, but it's working. So we'll just leave it at that. Um, so give me just a minute here. I'm going to switch this thing over. I'm going to try to find Jupiter and Saturn real quick. I can automate this thing to don't touch it, bud. I can automate this thing to go point over at it, so it should find it pretty quickly or get pretty close, and then we can manually go from there. So, all right, we'll be doing that in just a second.
Daddy. Yes, and we're
All
looking
right.
at Jupiter and
All right.
Saturn.
Shh. Hold on, bud.
Look.
All right, so there they are. There's Jupiter on the bottom here. If you can see my mouse, I'm not necessarily sure you can see. Shh. Hold on, bud.
You can see Saturn very good.
Yeah, you can see everything. All right, so there's Saturn right there at the top. You can clearly see the rings.
That's so cool.
I'm going to try to
Mars right up
zoom
there.
in on it real
There's
quick.
Mars right up there.
Maybe you can get a...
There's Mars. There's
So
Mars.
there's Saturn, and you can see the
Are
rings.
the rings turning? Looks like they're turning.
So that's pretty much the best I can get with my little inky telescope here. But that's Saturn. You can see the rings clearly. I'm going to see if I can focus it even. Well, probably shouldn't. Probably lose it if I did that.
That is really
So
Probably get
let's move over here to
Probably-
Jupiter.
Probably let's move over here. Probably everyone should get right here in front of me.
My assistant back here likes to give his input.
Everyone should be.
All right, so I'm gonna increase the exposure of Jupiter here, so you can hopefully see the moons a little better.
Whoa!
See, those are the moons.
That's cool.
So
See that red thing isn't a moon.
Oh, it is.
It's just
okay.
It's just a pixel. It's just a pixel.
Oh,
My son is
What is a
explaining the
pixel?
difference between the pixels and the moons.
What is
So-
a pixel?
If we see these little blue dots on the screen, that's just
Yes.
artifacting from the camera. So it's just a
Super cool.
feature of the camera, I guess you could say. But
Well, I can't see
All right.
Orion anywhere because there's too many clouds. Well, mostly not so much clouds.
I don't see any clouds, buddy.
Well, it looks like clouds.
All right, so that's Jupiter. I'm gonna try to tone down the. Exposure real quick, and maybe we can see some of the bands on Jupiter.
Look at our new lights on our roof. Ooh, that's pretty.
It's a little hard to see. It's definitely a lot dimmer. But you can kind of make out a dark band up there on the top, kind of right here.
Like right this with my feet.
Maybe I'll get a better telescope for Christmas, and we can
Except on it really hard to
see here.
On Christmas, I wish for a telescope that can see Pluto.
All right, so that's Jupiter. I'm gonna try to zoom in on it just a little bit. Whoa, lost it. There we go.
I wish I could have a telescope that we could see Orcus.
I don't know.
Orcus is a dwarf
I
planet.
don't know what. Oh, he's talking about dwarf planets now.
Orcus.
Got a little astronomer back here.
Orcus. A planet.
Hey, careful, bud. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Orcus.
Mm-hmm.
And
Sure
It
I
would be
do.
really cool. It would be
And
really,
Saturn.
really cool if
Okay.
you could see Pluto on a scope. On a
And
telescope.
you.
All right, so let me try to zoom out here. Maybe we can see them both again.
I wish I could see how Maya.
See both Jupiter and Saturn. Of course, I'll probably have to increase the exposure again so we can see Saturn's. I checked it out today, and about the distances. So Saturn and Jupiter look really close together, but that's just perspective from Earth.
Yeah.
So Jupiter is about 500 million miles away. So if anyone's ran a marathon, that's a few more.
That's a lot.
And Saturn is about 500 million more miles away from Jupiter. So
And there's
Earth is about, again, Jupiter is about 500 million miles from Earth. Saturn's about 500 million miles from Jupiter. So great distances here. But we're still able to pick it up. You can actually kind of see some of the banding on Saturn, sort of.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Anytime. So, let's see here. Let's look and see what kind of witty comments you all have left. Alright, so let's see here. I'm skipping the swingy guy. If you want to see it yourself, go outside and look toward the southwest sky, right where the sun is setting. Just look above, look right up above the horizon. For me, it's right up above some trees, so I don't know how much longer I'm going to be able to keep these in view, but we can look at some other stuff if you want. Um, it's not that cold outside, unless you've been sitting here for a while like me. But I hope you're enjoying the Christmas lights behind me. That's my only source of light on this computer right now. So, um, let's see. Liam is so smart. Yeah, he's a character.
And
Uh, what's a pixel? Uh, a pixel is, well, every unit of display on a computer is technically a pixel, but sometimes the pixels from the camera sensor show up depending on how depending on the settings I have set for the camera. The higher the frame rate, the higher the resolution, it tends to freak out basically and start showing pixels. So right now I don't see any, but that's good. So those planets are really close together right now. You can actually, if you're looking up at the sky, it actually still looks like two objects. So um, the brightest one is Jupiter, of course. The dimmer one is Saturn. So Mars is actually right overhead, as is the moon, and a jet probably landing in Stillwater. So um, really no stars out yet. There's just a few starting to come out, but these objects are really clear. So I'm glad they turned out so well. I'm just making up numbers like the CDC. No comment. How far is Uranus? Well, I'm not going to answer that. Let's see. You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you. No problem. Anytime. Can I show Pluto next? Um, I need a better telescope. So my wife is, she's inside. We can ask her nicely later. Um, I wish I could see objects that far, but I really can't. So, all right. So, does anyone have any more questions? Does anyone want to see any more? Does anyone want to keep it on here? Or do you want to look at some other stuff? We pretty much our only two options are Mars and the Moon. So, distance from front to back. Wow, you guys are great. I can't say these things out loud in front of my child. He doesn't understand them. So, you have more questions. So, hey, can you get him back so he doesn't kick the telescope again? That resulted in disaster yesterday. I lost the moon. So, I'm gonna ignore questions from some of these people. No, just kidding. Uh, keep it on Mars or Jupiter and Saturn. All right, show us Mars and the Moon. All right, I will in a little bit. Mars. All right. I'll be honest. Don't expect any. Uh, don't expect any spectacular red planet. You'll see a little red dot, and you might even see some. Depending on how clear it is, you might see some of the surface features. So I mean, I know that sounds wild, but it's really not amazing. I mean, it's pretty cool, but it's really just darker and lighter areas, which could be uh, sandstorms or could be surface features. So it's kind of hard to tell with this telescope. So let's see here. Hey, back up, bud.
what is that?
I really think you're going to kick that telescope, and
What
I'm gonna.
is that?
That is a star. I don't know which star it is.
What's this?
I don't know. Back up, back up. You're making me nervous.
Let's just see what it looks
Well, I'm not going to look at it with the telescope. It's just a little dot. All right. Oh, thank you. Someone thinks I'm awesome. That's great. There's one. Um, and Liam, your teacher's saying hi. Can you say hi to her?
Hi, Mr. Hubblebee.
ISS coming by. Here, let's back up a little bit more. Why don't you stand? Yeah, I don't want you to run into that. I don't know where the ISS, the International Space Station, is right now, but I can definitely look. Back up, bud. You're making me nervous. Really nervous. It takes a lot of work to find this stuff, and if you bump it, I'm going to lose it all. That's okay, though. We'll find it. Let's see, ISS. It is currently. It is below the horizon right now. Um, Going even further south. So no, we will not see the International Space Station tonight.
Yes, because it's below the Earth.
Below the Earth. Thank you, my little assistant. Explain what is happening. Okay. Well, here, I've got a little graphic here. Let me put this graphic up real quick. 1 second. Let's see what this does. See if this breaks anything. There we go. All right. If you all can see this, this is a kind of a scale map of our solar system, and using pixels, of course. I don't remember what each pixel represents, but here, back up, bud.
I need to see.
Bud, back up, back up. Hold on, you can see. Here, let me. Here,
Can't see.
I'll blow it up so you can see it better. All right, all right, all right. Here we go. So, if you notice, I've added some little notations here on this graphic. The little fourth dot from the left, the biggest dot on the left is the sun, and those first 3 dots are the inner planets, or actually the first 4 dots are the inner planets. The buddy, can you please back up? You're making me really nervous. Do not bump the telescope. All right.
I need to say something.
You need to say, okay, hold on. My 6-year-old's going to say something. What are you going to say?
See those things that kind of look like a little that kind of looks like little rocks, all close together. That's the asteroid belt.
The asteroid belt. Very good. Okay, this is the asteroid belt right here. Okay, yeah. Right after the 4th planet is the asteroid, the little fuzzy area there. Very good, bud. Good job.
Mm-hmm.
You're so smart. Okay, can you go inside for just a minute so I can explain this? Okay, stay outside, but don't get near here. Okay, there we go. Okay, so, sorry guys. Sorry about that. All right, so the 4th dot is Mars. First dot, very first dot is the sun. Obviously, if you can read the little notations there, it tells you what they are. But the first one's the sun, second one's Mercury, the planet Mercury. The third one's Venus. The 4th dot is Earth, with us, with a little yellow dot there, or yellow arrow. And the 4th is Mars. Now, that little fuzzy area that Liam was mentioning is the asteroid belt, which is just basically an area of space full of sand and rocks and dust and large rocks and mountain-sized rocks, and even bigger than that.
And the asteroids.
And asteroids, yes. Asteroids are in that category. Thank you. Keep playing. Go, go, go.
Yes.
Go, buddy, go. And the next little white dot, which is with one of those 2 that have the little yellow line over them, that next white dot is Jupiter. So it is the biggest planet in the solar system. I think I read somewhere you can fit like 300 of planet Earths inside Jupiter. And then the next planet is, of course, Saturn. So those 2 planets right there are a huge distance apart from each other. Now, what they're doing right now is, from our point of view, they're basically overlapping each other, I guess you could say. So if you wanted to put like a baseball in front of you, here, I'll see if I can do this on the camera. If you wanted to, so let's say my head is the Earth. This is a horrible example, but we're going to try it anyway. All right, so here's me looking at Jupiter, and then here's me looking at Saturn right behind it. It's on the other side, but it's almost right behind it. So that's really what we're seeing right now, are these 2 objects that look like they're right next to each other, but they're literally almost 500 million miles apart. So, or a little over 500 million miles apart. So they look really close again, but they're really far apart. So that's what we're seeing right now. Oh, okay, what do you want to say, bud?
Jupiter and Saturn and Uranus and Neptune are gas giants.
Good job. We're getting a little astronomy lesson from the 6-year-old here. Good job, buddy. All right, you can only see dashes. Did it not show up that well? You might have to blow it up in your camera, or like maximize it, or sorry, your phone, or whatever device you're using. I don't know. It may not look. It looks fine to me on my little preview here. So, but yeah, if you just want to pull up a picture of the solar system. What, bud? Okay, what? Okay, I might do that later. Yeah, I might. Okay, but go over there.
I also
I gotta
have
answer some more
say
questions here, bud. Okay.
after I say
What? Okay. What? Say one more thing. One more thing. That's it.
the planets that you don't see are dwarf, are dwarf planets, and they're so small and too far away, past Neptune, farther away from Neptune, and one's named Haumea, and it is an egg shape.
Okay. Good job. Good job, bud. All right. Everything he actually just said is true. There's what's called dwarf planets. Pluto is, of course, one of those now, categorized as a dwarf planet, and large vehicles driving by. My apologies. Um, Pluto is a dwarf planet. There's many other dwarf planets out there, and they're basically just smaller bodies, not categorized as planets. They don't function the same way as planets, um, but they're really small. Some of them are very small, maybe the size of large cities if you could drive around one. One is egg-shaped, like Liam said. Um, anyway, so let's look at some of these other questions that might have shown up. The star is Southwest Flight 2467. Hello, Purcell family. A lot of LOLs from all you silly people. Thank you for sharing. Really, there's 59 people watching? That's insane. I was expecting like 4, so this is crazy. But thank you guys for joining. I'm glad this was something. This is something I like to do. I just haven't ever streamed it before, um, so I'm glad it's that you guys are liking it too. So again, yeah, it's still outside. So if you want to go out and see the what they call the Christmas star, I don't personally believe the Christmas star was a natural phenomenon, but I won't get into that. Don't start asking me questions about that. I don't want to talk about that right now in much detail. Maybe another time. It's getting really cold and I'm starting to shiver, so I may have to warm up here in a minute. All right, so it seemed rotated 90 to the left. Am I crazy? Yeah, I'm actually probably sat. It's okay. You want me? I'm gonna real quick adjust this to how it actually looks in the sky. So give me just a second. Oh, it's not supposed to focus there. And by sheer chance, I got a really good focus there. So maybe I can get some sort of electronic focus next time. All right, so that's actually how it looks in the sky right now. Pretty close, anyway. No, you're not crazy, Josh. That's right. That's exactly how it looks right there. So, how long will we be able to see this? Probably for like another 45, 45 minutes or so. Maybe a little, maybe an hour. It's going to be going behind. Well, I mean, depends on how much of the horizon you can see. If you if you're up high and you have a real clear view of the horizon, then you should be seeing this for the longest amount of time. For me, it's probably going to be hitting a couple of tree branches in about 15 minutes. But thankfully, the moon is up high. Mars is up high too, so um, we might be able to see some of those here in a little bit. So, impressive video. Hope to see more very soon. Oh, thank you. You're welcome, Josh. You are sane. Little bit more anyway. No, I'm just kidding. All right, so um, yeah, maybe I can do this more often. This is kind of fun, actually. I just need to upgrade my stuff, my equipment here. Get a better telescope, maybe. Better camera. This stuff isn't cheap, though, so, but hey, it's Christmas. Someone needs to start some sort of like GoFundMe for my telescope stuff, right? No, I'm just kidding. Please don't do that. All right, so what do y'all think? Is it showing up pretty good for you guys? I'm going to zoom in a little bit more. see how this looks.
You just say it's
Hold on, bud.
show them something.
All right. So what do you want to show them, bud? Oh, I think. Okay. My 6-year-old just drew something for everyone to see. Let's show everyone. What is it?
It's the
Here.
picture of the solar system.
It's a picture of the soul. He just went inside and drew this for everybody. So that's my boy. Hey, get back. I don't want you to hit the telescope.
The sun is a star. Mercury is a planet. Venus is a planet.
There you go. Good job, buddy.
Earth is a planet.
Hey, give me
Mars
5.
is a planet. Jupiter is
Give
a
me 5.
planet. Saturn's a
Good
planet.
job.
Uranus is a planet. Neptune's a dwarf planet, not a dwarf planet. Pluto's a dwarf
Hey, have
planet.
you eaten dinner yet?
No.
Why don't you go eat something?
No.
Oh, I gotta eat food. I'm getting hungry. I can wait till in the morning. Hey, go eat something. Thanks for that picture. I'm sure. Hey, let's see what they all said about your picture. I'm sure they all like your picture.
I don't
Great job. They really like your picture, bud. Yeah, I'm really kind of amazed that I'm able to get the rings on Saturn that clear. The colder nights are better. The air's not as thick. Back up, bud. I'm gonna put a "Don't step here" sign right here. Okay? I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna. Hey, why don't you go inside for a little warm up? And put a jacket on or something. It's getting cold, bud. Thank you. It's crazy. I don't know who half these people are. 71 people. Are you kidding me? You guys are awesome. Feeling like I need to start a Twitch channel or something. Get paid to stream. All right, I'm going to brighten this up a little bit so we can see Saturn. And maybe even Jupiter's moons. Oh, here we go. There's some of those pixels that I was talking about. It kind of looks like dust on the camera lens. Yeah, that's probably about as good as I'm going to get. Kind of drop this down. All right, are these getting closer or further apart? I believe they are still getting closer. Maybe, well, I think they might be getting, actually, they might be getting further apart now. I haven't really kept up with that. I'm sorry. I am looking through tree limbs literally at these things right now, so I'm surprised we can even see them. So, but it's working. So, the image of Saturn is insane. Well, yeah, and it's not even a very expensive telescope. So, just depends on how you use it, I guess. Let's see. Thanks for doing this. You're welcome. No problem. Thanks, Dave. Yeah, the rings are surprisingly clear. Moon able to be in the shot? Yeah, we're gonna probably jump over here at the moon in just a minute. You've never seen the rings, Dave? Wow. Well, there they are. It's really cool when you can see them for the first time through your own telescope. It's really a weird experience when you realize you're looking at something that far away. And yeah, I'm gonna kind of dim it down just so we can kind of see. I'm gonna also try to focus this just a little bit more. Probably gonna regret this. Yeah, that's probably about as best we're gonna get. That's a little better. Again, that I said this yesterday during our little test. The waviness that you see is the atmosphere on Earth moving. Um, you're looking through a lot of material before you get out into space, and that material bends the light. So it's really difficult to get still photos of these things because the way you actually get a photo of some of these objects is you have to take a video of them, and then each frame So the more frames, the better. Each frame is called is stacked. You stack each frame on top of each other. You use reference points in the picture, and the software that you stacking software is what it's called that you use lines up the picture. Then you adjust various aspects of the picture, and it makes it clearer. So it's a lot more challenging than just trying to snap a picture. The reason why they launched Hubble telescope was to get outside the atmosphere to take pictures of these things. And excuse me. So yeah, it's a very frustrating thing to try to take pictures of these things sometimes, but sometimes it turns out pretty well. We're starting to get kind of blurry here on Saturn, so I'm thinking we're probably hitting some of the tree. I can't even see it hardly because of with my eyes, just because yeah, we're kind of getting blurry there. So I'm probably going to move over here to the moon in just a minute, and then we can move over to Mars from there. So let's see here. How much do I want for my telescope? Private message me. No, let's see. How much longer until they cross? I'm really not sure if they're going to actually cross. This may be the closest they come. They may have already crossed during the day. I'm not exactly sure. They may not have crossed at all. But yeah, I haven't had a chance to look into that. Compared to the night Jesus was born, were there more planets lining up like this? I don't think so, actually. Um, Without getting into a lot of theological stuff, which I like to do, but I'm not going to right now. I don't believe because of some of the things that the Christmas star, the Bethlehem star that we call it, did, like moving over Jerusalem and then moving over Bethlehem and then actually moving over the spot where the baby was, the child was. It didn't have the same characteristics it doesn't really fit any of the astronomical the charts of that time. There was a conjunction that Josephus references around this time, similar Jupiter-Saturn, but it uh, it was actually a few years off. So, um, hold on, bud. So personally, that being said, I don't think that and if you look at it right now, it just looks like a bright star. I mean, it doesn't look like anything that's going to get um, a bunch of people from, we'll call them the wise men, which were more than just three, by the way. But it's going to get a lot more attention. It's not going to get the attention of three guys or hundreds of guys, heading over to Jerusalem to ask about the prophesied Messiah. So this is just two objects that are so close together that they almost look like one, but they don't really look as spectacular as you might think. To the naked eye, it doesn't. It just looks like any other star right now. It looks like actually, I think Mars looks brighter than this right now, and definitely the moon. But and some of these stars are actually about the same. So sorry, I didn't mean to ramble on about that, but yeah. So hope that answered your question. I don't think there. Actually, I don't even think I answered your question. But more planets lining up like this. I'd have to look, but I don't think so. You're welcome. No problem, Eric. Thanks, Andrew. No problem. Let's see. Have they already crossed over? I think I already answered that, but no, I don't think. I don't know. I don't think they're actually going to cross over, but they might, or they may have already done it. So, can I remind people where this is in the sky? Yeah. Uh, if you go outside on your porch and look to the southwest, right where the sun was setting, it's right over the horizon right now. And give me just a second. So yeah, it's right over the horizon right now in the southwest. You'll see a really bright object, which is Jupiter, and then a slightly dimmer object, it's a dimmer object, which is Saturn, right to the right of it. And they're really close together. Um, if you're like me you have bad eyesight, if you don't have your glasses on, it's going to look like one blurry object. But if you have your glasses on, it looks like two objects that are literally almost touching, but that's where they are. So. Okay, I'm going to move this over to the moon real quick, and we'll see you all in just a second. All right, be right back. All right, can everyone see the moon? That took a lot more work to find than I thought it would, since it's so huge compared to everything else up there. So we're looking at, if you're familiar with the man in the moon, we're looking at the eyes right now. His nose and mouth are, you could say, on the twilight side of the moon. So the darker side right there on the bottom.
Go farther away from there. Follow me.
Well, I'm gonna peek in there.
Now, if you want to do this at home, I recommend getting a telescope that tracks. That means tracks the movement of the Earth. Because if this did not do that, it has an electronic, what's called tracker, I guess, in it. That's the technical term, not really, but um, it basically tracks the movement using what it knows about the movement of the Earth. So that way it follows the moon as it moves. If you've ever looked through a telescope at anything in the sky, it quickly is out of view. Um, you can watch it. You can literally watch it just moving out of view. So, which again, I'm not bragging on the telescope. It's actually a really good telescope. It was a couple $100 on a Black Friday. So I'm really impressed with it. But I think I'm wanting to definitely upgrade to get some
See, it's up there. You see, he's behind that tree.
get some deep space object images and get some closer looks at some of these planets. So
No, because it's too dark.
No, it's shining brightly. Just look straight this way. Look up and look through those trees. It
looks like he has a mustache. The man in the moon, yeah, kind of does, doesn't it?
Okay, well, we'll see you tomorrow. Okay.
Okay.
All right, stand by.
Well, let's get.
Okay, what did I miss? You're welcome. No problem. My pleasure. It's a lot of fun doing this stuff. So, as you can tell, we'll just take a quick look at the moon real quick. Look at some of these craters. The universe or the solar system is it's a busy place. You know, all these rocks that have hit hit the moon. I'm trying to see if I can find any of the craters that I know the names of, but oh, I think that's the. Let me think.
Zoom all the way down.
Buddy, hold on. You guys are funny. Let's see here. I can no longer see the, okay, I can kind of, the Jupiter and Saturn conjunction uh, with my eyes. There's a tree right in front of me, right between us and Jupiter. I can kind of see it if I move over, but the telescope's not going to find it. So, all right. So that was that. If you want to watch this video later, you can, or find pictures of it online. But I'll save this to my account so you guys can watch it later if you want. Maybe I'll start a YouTube or Twitch stream doing this. It's kind of fun, actually. It's kind of cold though. But all right. So that's the moon. You see it all the time, but it's pretty cool looking, especially when you look at it up close. And these big dark areas. What are those big dark areas called, Liam?
Craters. Craters, I guess. Seas.
Yeah, they're called seas. But is there water in them?
No.
No water. Just big. You could call them big drier lake beds, I guess. If there ever was liquid there, I have no idea, but there's not now. But it's definitely been hit with a lot of debris. So, not the cheese. Sorry, I had to add that in there. Okay. All right, I'm gonna try to find Mars real quick, and then we'll call it an evening. So give me just a few minutes. It's a little harder to find, but just being the size it is. But what time is the actual alignment again? I don't believe. I don't know if they're actually going to align, like actually be to our perspective and uh, pass over each other. I don't think Saturn's going to pass directly behind Jupiter, and if it does, it's already happened, or it hasn't happened yet. I'm just not sure. But I don't think they're actually going to perfectly align. I think, given the fact that they are literally millions of miles apart and millions of miles from us, um, this is pretty much considered the best alignment you're going to get with objects that far apart. So I don't know if they're actually going to perfectly align like an eclipse, so to speak. I think they're close enough that they're going to look aligned, but I don't know. I may be completely wrong on that too, but um, I haven't heard that they're going to perfectly align. I know when things like this happen, it's not ever a perfect alignment. Um, not always. I say not ever. It's not always a perfect alignment, but it's called an alignment. So I would have cut the tree down if it was my tree, but no, I probably would have left it there. We need something. We need at least one tree, but no, it's my neighbor's tree. I would call this the act. I would consider this the alignment, though. I would consider what's been happening the last few days an alignment, just because they're so close. Because you usually don't see planets as close together. So all right, I'm gonna try to find Mars real quick. You're welcome, Sarah. No problem. I'm going to try to find the Mars, and I'll be right back. So stand by. There's gonna be nothing on the screen for a minute or two or 12. I don't know how long this will take, but it shouldn't take that long. So be right back. Okay, well, there you have it. There's Mars. That is the fourth planet from the solar system and one of our closest neighbors in the solar system. So Liam's kind of excited that we're looking at it right now. So it's a red planet, called the red planet. Hey, careful. The surface is covered mostly in iron oxide or rust. It's really cold. If you watch the movie Martian, it's pretty good depiction of what the surface might be like. Um, it has a day just like almost just like ours. I think it's 23 hours, 23.3 hours or something like that. Sun comes up, sun goes down about the same amount of time. It has seasons. I mean, it's tilted on its axis like the Earth is. It's pretty similar in the way its seasonal rotation is and stuff like that. So, um, anyways, you can kind of see some darkness on the surface and some lightness on the surface. Um, that could just be atmospheric distortion. That could on our side. That could also be. Um, Sorry, I'm reading some of these things. Let's see here. It could just be atmospheric distortion on our end. It could be surface features or sandstorms. Sandstorms are a very common thing on Mars, um, but sometimes you can actually make out there's a canyon on the surface of Mars. It's bigger than it dwarfs the Grand Canyon by I don't know how many times, but it's basically I think it's a canyon about the size of the lower 48 states of the United States. So it's a pretty big canyon. It's biggest in the solar system, and it's right there on the surface. So sometimes you can actually see that. It's so big. It's just a big dark gouge across the surface. Um, I really don't know what we're looking at right now as far as surface features, or if that's just atmosphere, or if that's just distortion in the camera. It could be a lot of stuff. It's really difficult to get pictures of Mars, just because of just for a lot of reasons. So, but that's what it looks like. So, okay, back up, bud. Please back up. I don't want you to hit it. If we lose Mars, we're done. I'm not going to find it again. Um, you want a close-up picture of it? Well, that's pretty much the best you're going to get. It's not a great picture. You can start to see some of the pixels there. Um, but that's what it looks like. Yeah, like I said, don't expect a spectacular picture of Mars with my little telescope. So um, there's only so many things we can find with these things. So, um, but yeah, it's still pretty neat to see Mars, and especially see surface features on it. So, or sandstorms, whatever the coloration is on it. So, any other questions? And we will. You have 98% cloud coverage in South Dakota, but I managed to see it. Yeah, that's a lot of clouds. Yeah, if you've been keeping up, the Jupiter and Saturn thing has been in view for. I've been watching them every day, getting closer and closer. They were, you know, let's see here. They'd be this far apart, and then the next night they'd be this far apart, and then just the last few nights they've been getting closer and closer. So what?
I need to say something.
Okay, my 6-year-old would like to say something. Get ready. I have no idea what he's gonna say.
I'm going to say something about Mercury. Mercury almost orbits about 88 days.
Mercury's orbit is about 80. So there's your random fact from Liam. You just need to make this the Liam and Daddy show. Here, look at the screen, bud. Smile. Big smile. That's my firstborn. All right. So that's that. Let me scoot up here since we're kind of dropping down here. Look. Almost lost it. There we go. All right. So I don't want to hold this out any longer. Does anyone have any questions? Or let me read some of these here. I might have missed some. GoFundMe. Yeah, right. Wrap it up. My wife says wrap it up. All right. Thank you very much, Jessica Terry. Yes, the conjunction, or the in my terms, the very close uh, Jupiter and Saturn. That's not the best way to say that. The Jupiter and Saturn coming very close together has happened. It's happening right now, but it's just below our horizon. Um, Tomorrow it will probably be. Just look every day. You'll notice Jupiter and Saturn really close together, but now they're probably going to be getting further apart. So tomorrow they may be just a little bit further apart, and then the next night and next night. So look in the southwest sky. It's really not too late to see these two planets really close together. Um, if you want to watch this video after I finish going live, you can rewind and go back, and most of it's probably uh, Jupiter and Saturn. So, um, but yeah, like I was saying, you can tomorrow night and the next night and the next night and the next night. Just look up in the southwest sky. You'll before the stars even come out. Um, it'll start to get dark, and you'll see Jupiter and Saturn. They don't. By the way, planets don't twinkle. So if you're looking for objects in the sky and you want to see if it's a planet or a star, stars twinkle because of the atmosphere. Light over a disk does not twinkle, so the planets do not twinkle. So if you see an object up there that's not twinkling at all, that's probably a planet. And they do follow a line through the sky. So if you see Jupiter and Saturn and you see the moon over here, and you follow that line, you'll probably find Mars and other planets along that line. It's called the ecliptic. So, one second, bud. But that's pretty much all I have.
And I have to say something.
Yeah, go ahead. One more thing from our assistant over here. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, this is something that's happening right now. Well, Mars looks like it's below the horizon. Oh no, it's not below the horizon. I thought it was behind the. I thought it was below the horizon. I thought it was behind somewhere around.
Nope, it's right up there, isn't it? And
Yes.
and if you want to see Mars, it's red. So just look straight up. You'll see the moon. Look a little bit to the northeast, and you'll see a red dot. That's Mars. And again, just to clarify, if you're just joining or didn't hear, Saturn and Jupiter, the Bethlehem star or the Christmas star. Um, Again, I don't believe it was a natural occurrence that caused that phenomenon. But anyway, is in the southwest part of the sky every night for I don't know how much longer. But every night for the next probably week, you're going to see Jupiter and Saturn get gradually further and further apart. So they'll again, southwest part of the sky, right when the evening starts, when the stars and the planets start to come out. So, yes, Liam, one more thing.
And well, some stars are close together. Well, I think are attached because I think some stars are attached or too close together.
Okay.
Like
Sure.
this.
All right.
This.
Gotcha. Okay, they got that. Good job, buddy. Alice, you said only see Saturn on screen right now. That's actually Mars on the screen right now. Saturn and Jupiter are currently below the horizon, and I'm getting those eyes from the wife right now. So I better wrap this up. So anyway, thank you. Again, this video will stay online. You can watch it after it's gone live if you want to. If you want to sit through this, do it in the comfort of your own home where it's warm, because I am really cold right now. So anyway, thank you guys for joining. I appreciate it. We'll do this again sometime. Send hints to my wife to get a better telescope. Maybe we'll see. And hopefully we can do this again soon. So thank you and have a great evening.
Yes.
Say bye.
Yes, but bye.
Take care.